Was Einstein right? Is time really relative? The answer to the question is yes and no. Mostly no. Before I explain that, let me tell you that it is impossible to disprove Einstein if you believe that velocity of light is invariant. I have seen many attempts proving Einstein wrong, but I found that they cannot work only because they consider velocity of light as invariant, a constant. Now let's understand what velocity is. The simple equation v equals to d divided by t, distance divided by time. The equation is very simple. It is not complicated. There's not much in it. And so we should very easily understand that if one makes mistake in measuring or assuming the velocity correctly, then the error will be reflected either in distance or in time. In case of Einstein, he assumed that velocity of light is invariant. It is independent of source velocity. And he made mistake in velocity. And that's why he found the correction in increased time. And so time became relative in his theories. Once again, velocity equals to distance divided by time. So if velocity is less, time is bound to increase. But if time is kind of, say, let's say constant, and if you make mistake in measuring velocity or assuming it wrong, then the error will be reflected in the distance. And same, Einstein, that's why introduced a concept which is called length contraction. So length contraction and time dilation are nothing but result of misconception that speed of light or velocity of light is invariant. In fact, Einstein could not prove that, and so he just has to assume, and he postulated that velocity of light is constant in vacuum. And that is why he found length contraction as well as time dilation. When those two things are actually errors, those two things are actually red flags pointing out errors in Einstein's theories. But unfortunately, science now glorifies those errors. And so if you doubt that thing, if you question that, then you will be mocked or you will be doubted that, hey, this guy doesn't know science. But let's not go there. Let's think about velocity of light. If it is constant, okay, and if it is not dependent on the source velocity, then let's consider a scenario and let's see what you answer. Assume that there is a train, Einstein's train, going from east to west or any direction, and light is rising from A and going towards B towards ceiling, and it is perpendicular to the motion of the train. Now, if you apply the simple principle of relativity of motion, you will say that light will hit B. But as per Einstein, if you apply what he said, that light is not dependent on the velocity of source, then the light will not hit point B in the ceiling. But well, if you look any video, any educational video or anywhere, you will not find that information, that light will miss hitting point B. There's another red flag. Now, let's consider one more scenario. We can walk here on Earth, but let's consider that you are in vacuum, just standing. Can you take a step and change your location, your position? As per Einstein, or as per the relativity principle, or whatever the science says, you cannot. Even though you can walk, but well, as long as there is nothing else apart from you, there is no other reference. So you cannot say that you moved. And that's another red flag. And we'll discuss that later on. But for now, let us once again focus on the velocity. The basic equation, very simple. V equals to d divided by t time. And if there is error in velocity,
then the correction should come either in distance or in the time. And that's exactly what Einstein applied, and that's exactly what currently modern science is employing. And that is why they are not finding any errors. They are using mathematics as a donkey, or you can say mathematics is like a computer program. You just feed the numbers and it will give you some results. And then if you accept those results, then whatever logic you have employed is correct. But if you are smarter, if you are wiser, and then you question all the result, then you will find your logical errors. So just because mathematics is giving correct answer, that doesn't mean that whatever logic is employed is right. Once more, let me draw your attention back to velocity. Velocity is distance divided by time. And so if there is an error in the velocity, then the correction must be applied either in distance or in time. And Einstein applied that in the time, and that's why we see time dilation.
Now I have two questions so that we can be on the same page. On Einstein's train, there is a point A on the floor, and vertically opposite to it is point B on ceiling. The question is, will light rising from point A hit point B? The second question is, if you are all alone in vacuum or space, then will you be able to move, change your location? These two questions will help me to understand how curious you are about science and what Einstein said.